Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. This week the news was a bit slow, but I can bring you an update on one of the most important topics that we've seen lately. Miorine's tomato soup. Or at least that's what I was going to start with, because during editing I saw that P-Bandai announced two new Advance of Zeta reboot model kits. The high-grade Aqua Hambrabi 2 Advance of Zeta reboot version and the high-grade Aqua Hambrabi 2 Titans Colors version Advance of Zeta reboot version, which will then allow you to create the Aqua Woundwort and the Aqua Barzam by combining them with the high-grade Woundwort and the high-grade Barzam Advance of reboot version. And just to be absolutely clear, these are sold separately. For 3,080 yen, around 23 US, you're only getting the add-on parts. And as you might have guessed from the naming scheme, the only difference between the two sets is their color. But in typical Advance of Zeta fashion, they are made to be compatible with both the Woundwort and the Barzam. And the end result is quite the massive unit. Again, something that the Advance of Zeta series is known for. In terms of weapons, it's got a spear launcher, torpedo launchers, bigger torpedo launchers, or at least I think those things on the Woundwort are big torpedoes, and claws that can shoot out. And both of these sets will be swimming your way in June. And of course, to go alongside of them, P-Bandai also restocked the Woundwort Psycho Blade Custom, Advance of Zeta Reboot version, regular Barzam, Advance of Zeta Reboot version, and Captured Barzam, Advance of Zeta Reboot version. And now, back to Witch from Mercury's tomato soup. It's going to be sold at the Witch from Mercury Expo, and they have confirmed that it will be sold as an actual soup, like an actual drink. And in addition to that, you can also get 6 other character-inspired drinks. Soletta's strawberry soda with raspberries and potentially dismembered arms, Elan's blueberry soda, Nika's green apple soda with kiwi and betrayal, Choo-Choo's peach soda, Gil's coffee, and Shadiq's hot lemonade. And with each order, you will get 1 of 8 random coasters. But as a potential anti-scalper method, you can only order 4 drinks per person. So I guess not even the random coasters are safe from scalpers anymore. And they also showed off some of the event-related items that you can't buy at the event itself, but you can buy them through P-Bandai. It's something that I still find funny, but hey, at least it is good that you can buy them online, so you don't have to go to the event to buy the things, because the event is only held from March the 10th to March the 12th. There's a bunch of different clear file sets. You can get the promotional art on a really cute mug, a white or black t-shirt, a sticker, and an acrylic stand that also has a really cool 3D feel to it, because Suletta and Miorine are on separate pieces of the background. And then you can also get the individual characters on can badges, towels, and tote bags. And continuing with the Witch from Mercury news, on the 6th, Shibuya Station was hijacked by the series, and posters have appeared in over 50 locations. And on these posters is a code that will allow you to take AR photos with the character on the poster. Or if you prefer cuddling with the Witch from Mercury characters, you can now pre-order the Tenorinzu collection, featuring Suletta, Miorine, Gyul, Elan, Shadiq, Nika, Choo-Choo, and Lauda inside of an appropriately colored Haro. These hand-sized plushies will be available in June at regular Japanese hobby stores for 6,864 yen, 50 US for the whole set. But if you buy them through P-Bandai, they will also throw in a bonus Bob version. And last but not least, they unveiled the box art for the second Blu-ray. Elan's on the outside, and the Feroct with its Gund bits flying all over the place are on the inside. On the Gunpla front then, well, it was announced that the RE100 Gyunei Custom Yacht Doga Special Coating version will go on sale at the Gundam base on March 11th for 10,450 yen, 77 US, and this very shiny machine was previously only available at Gundam Side F in Fukuoka, so now it will be slightly easier to get. And then we also got some extra pre-orders over on Japanese P-Bandai. A third wave of reservations for the high-grade Gundam Rose, another wave of reservations for the Red Giant 3rd MS Team set, and a resale of the Master Grade X Impulse and high-grade Underwater Gundam. Meanwhile, on the figure front then, we only got a P-Bandai resale, the Ensemble X26 Nightingale. So, quickly moving on to some Gunpla related news. Over at Gundam.info, they published an interview with Manson NG. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I do know that he was the winner of the 10th Gunpla Builders World Championship over 21 course. And the model that he won with totally deserved it. That thing is badass. Now, you can find the full official English translation linked down below, but there are a few things that I want to highlight here. Now, when I first saw this model, I thought that it was like the Master Grade 2.0 or something with a scratch-built Elmeth, which by itself would have already been super impressive. But it's actually the old 1/60th scale model from the 80s that he, in his words, tried to make more modern with modern technology and to kind of bring it up to par with a perfect grade. Something that he completely succeeded in because, like I said, I thought that was just a straight up master grade with extra stuff added. And this also brings me to the other point that I want to get to here. They asked him how he felt about the competition being held online this time around, due to a certain human malware. And he found it unfortunate that on pictures, it's hard to get a good idea of the size and the scope of a diorama or a model kit. And again, this is something that I personally experienced because I thought that his massive 1/60th scale diorama was a 100th scale diorama. And then the last point that I want to touch upon in this video is one of his closing statements. He was asked to give a message to Gunpla fans all over the world. And I'm now going to quote literally from the translation. It's important to pursue an original idea and to try and create a never-seen-before creation that leaves a deep impression. I don't know if this was meant as a direct criticism of one of the other entries, but I feel like it's a little bit too coincidental not to be. But I will leave the final judgment up to you. And in other news, this week's Mobile Suit Girl Spotlight is on something that you might not immediately link to the Mobile Suit Girls themselves, because instead of an actual girl, we have a redesigned version of the core booster and the G-Fighter. And especially the G-Fighter here looks amazing. The standard core booster was already looking pretty good, so this redesign, the design change isn't too drastic. But the standard G-Fighter is essentially a flying coffin with wings, 2 cannons, and a set of caterpillar turrets. And this new version, on the other hand, gets as close to being a real airplane while still keeping all of the elements of the G-Fighter. So I really wanted to show you all this very sleek new design. On the gaming front then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2, the Gyunei ground-type Gundam Thunderbolt version flies onto the battlefield with the Corvette booster, and it's quite something to see this thing in action. And as part of the Gundam NT collaboration, the Gustav Karl and Gira Doga Elec Hugo custom are currently being featured. In Gundam Breaker Mobile then, the Jagan Blastmaster joins the lineup as part of the Gundam Battle Festival, Prayer Reverie has become available as an AI pilot, and the G-Unit in White event has gone live. But then the biggest news was undoubtedly for Gundam Evolution, which got a new mission briefing. Today's Season 3, called Ignition, will be rolling out, and the new flagship Gundam is the fan-favorite Heavyarms custom Endless Waltz version. And it will come complete with its very fancy circus moves that could be seen in the anime. And of course, there's also various packs up for sale with various skins, like an edgy black and red Heavyarms and a golden Heavyarms. And as part of the Hyper update, we'll also be getting another new unit in April. But continuing with the mission briefing, there were also some pretty major balance adjustments, with the Pale Rider and Zaku getting buffed in the face of more powerful shield units, and the Barbs getting a slight nerf. Now, for a full list of all of the changes, you can check out the link down below, where you can also find all of the other small updates that arrived in Ignition. And for the fans of Gundam Arsenal Base, you can now pre-order the first anniversary special box set. For 8,250 yen, 61 US, you'll get a storage box, 5 partition cards, 10 sleeves, and 5 limited edition pilot cards. Now, I've been out of the card playing space for a while now, so I'm not really up to date with the prices on box sets like this, but it feels pretty expensive to me, unless this storage box is like super duper fancy. But whatever the case, the box is slated for a June release. As for the things you could get this week then, we're immediately going to the reading material with the latest Gundam Forward ebook that was released on Amazon US, UK, Canada, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands. It focuses on Witch from Mercury, including how to modify the standard Lefrith into the pre-production type, which I of course still want an actual model kit from. And then the 7th episode of the Legend of Dragon Knight side story was released online, linked down below. Moving on to this week's apparel news then, where Strict G kicked things off last week Friday with 2 new collaborations. First up, we had a collaboration with Alpha Industries to create Gundam Unicorn inspired flight jackets. For 40,480 yen a pop, 300 US, you can either get a gray standard Unicorn version or a black Banshee Norn version. And the second collaboration is with Kamawanu to create 3 types of Gundam-inspired Chusen Tenugui. Basically, these are traditional Japanese hand towels that are nowadays also used as small wall tapestries. So, a very multifunctional thing. And for 2,420 yen each, 18 US, you can get a green one with Horos, a red one with Char emblems, or a black one with Holder emblems. And on the same day, they also released a bunch of items under their Strict G Jobro label. For 5,280 yen, 39 US, you can get a t-shirt with a sunset design in either white, brown, or navy. For 6,380 yen, 47 US, you can get a t-shirt with a pocket with a Jobro box logo that's based on the White Basis launch deck gate, or the White Basis front legs, if you will. And this shirt is also available in white, brown, or navy. And then for 14,300 yen, 105 US, you can get a light brown or olive raincoat. And yesterday, they had 2 more collections. The first one was another collaboration with Alpha Industries. this time to bring you a Hathaway's Flash inspired light MA1 jacket for 42,680 yen, a little over 300 US, and the second one was a lineup of t-shirts with Ace mobile suits painted in a really cool traditional Japanese way. For 8,030 yen, around 60 US, you can get a white t-shirt with the Gundam, a black t-shirt with Char's Zaku 2, a red shirt with Char's Gelgoog, a black shirt with the Goof, or a blue shirt with the Zeong. And from Bankoreden, on Friday, you could pre-order the Mobile Suit Gundam weapon motif long-sleeved t-shirts. Although, the Sword and Shield collection might have been a better name for it. Because for 5,500 yen a pop, 40 US, you can get a white t-shirt with the Gundam's Beam Saber and Shield, a navy t-shirt with the Goof's Heat Sword and Shield, and a red t-shirt with Char's custom Gelgoog's Beam Naginata and Shield. And on Wednesday, you could pre-order some more t-shirts, but this time instead of the weapons, they've got the actual mobile suits on them. A white one with the Gundam, a red one with Char's Zaku 2, an olive one with the standard Zaku 2, a blue one with the Goof, purple one with the Dom, red one with Char's Zagok, burgundy one with Char's Gelgoog, and a black one with the Zeong. For 3,520 yen a pop, around 20-25 US, you can get these shirts in April, which is also when the weapon collection launches. And now let's wrap things up with the results of the Gundam X Tomica collaboration poll. A few weeks ago, Gundam.info wanted to know what other Gundam vehicle we would love to see as part of this collaboration. And the standings have shifted ever so slightly in the way that I would have expected them to. If I remember correctly, the Gallop had a slight lead over the Musai when I covered it, but in the final standings, the Musai took home the victory with 36.3%, and the Gallop came in second, but still with a very respectable 33.3%. Now, I would have expected the Musai to win by a few more points, because even though some of the offerings of the Tomica X Gundam collaboration are quite unique, the white base is just the white base. It's a small, cheap figure with a translucent base that has some wheels underneath it, but they're really not noticeable. So the same would apply to the Musai, a small, cheap figure that you can easily buy multiples of, because the white base, if I remember correctly, goes for like 1,300 yen without taxes, so that's like $10 if you get them directly from Japan. But on the other hand, we do already have quite some figures and Gunpla of the Musai, which is something that cannot be said for the Gallop. Immediately on top of my head, there's like a mobile suit and action figure, which is not probably super difficult to get nowadays, but that's basically it as far as I can remember. So I can understand why people would vote for the Gallop as well. Then moving on, in third place we have the Space Launch with 19%. Another thing that is pretty underrepresented on the figure front and just doesn't have a model kit, period. And then finally there is the DOP with 11.4%. I think I'd go for the Saberfish or the Tin Cod instead. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.